In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 college basketball games happening on January 29, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Auburn versus LSU. The Auburn Tigers, currently boasting an impressive 18-1 overall record, including an 11-8 mark against the spread and a 10-9 record in over-under wagers, are set to face off against the LSU Tigers in a highly anticipated Southeastern Conference matchup on Wednesday evening. Auburn enters this contest riding high after securing a significant road victory against Tennessee in their most recent outing. Conversely, LSU is coming off a tough road loss against Alabama. In their lone meeting last season, Auburn capitalized on home court advantage to emerge victorious. When it comes to the national rankings, the Auburn Tigers have undeniably established themselves as the premier team in college basketball. Their only loss this season came at the hands of a highly ranked Duke squad, and that defeat occurred nearly 2 months ago. Since then, Auburn has been virtually unstoppable, stringing together an impressive 11-game winning streak. On the other hand, the LSU Tigers have struggled to gain traction within the Southeastern Conference. They have found it difficult to maintain consistency, dropping 5 of their last 6 conference matchups. Auburn's offensive production is simply unmatched at the national level. They are averaging an astounding 129 points per 100 possessions, which ranks first among all Division I teams. In stark contrast, LSU lags behind with a mere 111 points per 100 possessions. The disparity does not end there, as Auburn also holds a significant edge on the defensive end, allowing 5 fewer points per 100 possessions than LSU. The LSU Tigers have been unable to keep games competitive in conference play, as 5 of their last 6 defeats have come by a margin of at least 8 points. According to Ken Palm rankings, Auburn leads the country in adjusted efficiency margin with an outstanding rating of plus 35.91. In comparison, LSU sits at 66th overall with a much lower plus 12.45. This statistical difference equates to an approximate 23-point gap between the two teams on a neutral court. Even when factoring in LSU's home court advantage, Auburn still holds a considerable advantage, making them the more favorable pick in this contest. Auburn's offense is not just strong, it is the most efficient in the nation. They maintain an adjusted scoring rate of 129 points per 100 possessions, which allows them to generate high percentage opportunities on nearly every trip down the floor. Given their offensive prowess, Auburn has the ability to establish an early lead, forcing LSU to play catch-up. If the LSU Tigers find themselves trailing early, they may resort to an increased volume of 3-point attempts in an effort to close the gap. Unfortunately for LSU, this strategy is unlikely to yield positive results, as they rank a dismal 326th in 3-point shooting accuracy, converting just 30.8% of their attempts from beyond the arc. Additionally, Auburn holds an edge in rebounding, boasting a 54.1% rebound rate compared to LSU's 52.2%. If LSU struggles both offensively and on the glass, it is easy to see how this game could spiral out of control in Auburn's favor. So the Auburn Tigers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Expanding on my analysis, my primary concern revolves around whether LSU can contribute enough offensively to push the total score over the projected line. Based on their offensive struggles, I am doubtful that they will be able to do so. The hosting Tigers rank just 101st in adjusted offensive efficiency, managing to score only 110.8 points per 100 possessions. Meanwhile, they will be facing an Auburn defense that ranks 11th in adjusted defensive efficiency, surrendering a mere 93 points per 100 possessions. Additionally, neither Auburn nor LSU plays at a particularly fast pace. Auburn ranks 171st in adjusted tempo, averaging 67.4 possessions per 40 minutes, while LSU sits slightly higher at 128th with 68.2 possessions per 40 minutes. Given these factors, I anticipate a final score in the range of 80 to 65, which would fall short of the projected total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Wisconsin versus Maryland. The Wisconsin Badgers, with a record of 16-4 straight up and 6-3 in the Big Ten, are set to travel to College Park for a matchup against the Maryland Terrapins, who have a 16-5 overall record and a 6-4 conference standing. This game is scheduled for Wednesday, and it marks a continuation of their rivalry from last season. The two teams met twice in the previous year, with Wisconsin coming out on top both times, including a commanding 87-56 victory in the Big Ten tournament. The Badgers and the Terrapins faced off 2 times last season, with Wisconsin winning both contests outright. In one of those matchups, they secured a dominant 31-point victory during the Big Ten tournament. Despite this history, Maryland currently holds a higher ranking in both offensive and defensive metrics within the Big Ten. However, statistics don't always tell the full story, as Wisconsin has shown strength in specific areas. For example, the Badgers are averaging more three-pointers and free throws per game than the Terrapins. Maryland's defense has been somewhat inconsistent, allowing an average of 72 points per game over their last 5 conference matchups. Additionally, 2 of Maryland's last 3 victories were by 3 points or less. Wisconsin's 3 Big Ten losses, on the other hand, have come by an average margin of just 4 points. As for the betting trends, Maryland has struggled against the spread in their recent home games, posting a 1-3 against the spread record in their last 5 home contests. Meanwhile, Wisconsin has been more reliable on the road, with a 4-1 against the spread record this season and a 3-2 against the spread record in their last 6 games against Maryland. One of the key challenges that Maryland presents is their use of 2 6-10 post players, Queen and Julian Reese. These players make Maryland a tough matchup, especially in the paint. However, Wisconsin counters with their own impressive post presence, featuring 2 7-footers, Stephen Krall and Nolan Winter. Both players are skilled and contribute significantly to the team's play, with Winter being a legitimate 3-point shooter, making him a versatile threat. In addition to their strong big men, the Badgers also have 2 talented guards in Tonj and Blackwell, who are crucial for handling Maryland's defensive pressure. What sets Wisconsin apart in this matchup is their ability to perform well on the road, where they are shooting 50.4% from the field and 37.8% from beyond the arc. This road success is one of the primary reasons I believe the Badgers are the more trustworthy team in this contest. While Maryland has been strong at home, Wisconsin has demonstrated that they can compete at a high level no matter the location. I have confidence that the Badgers will keep this game close, and they could very well win outright. So the Wisconsin Badgers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. This season, Wisconsin has evolved beyond the methodical, slow-paced team they were in years past. According to KenPom, Wisconsin now ranks 152nd in tempo, while Maryland is ranked 75th in tempo. The Terrapins have also played at a slower pace in previous seasons, but both teams are capable of playing fast-paced basketball if the situation calls for it, with Maryland in particular preferring to push the ball. The Terrapins have gone over the total in 6 of their last 7 games, and they recently put up an impressive 91 points in a game against Illinois. Maryland is shooting a remarkable 50.1% from the field at home, which adds to their offensive potency. Wisconsin has also gone over the total in 2 of their last 3 games, and they have been averaging 83.5 points per game over their past 3 contests. Additionally, the Badgers have gone over in 3 consecutive matchups against the Terrapins. Looking back to last season, the over hit in both of their meetings, with the teams combining for an average of 143.5 points per game. This is a stark contrast to the Terrapins' performance in the Big Ten tournament, where they were held to just 56 points by Wisconsin. While the Terrapins should undoubtedly put up a stronger effort this time around, they still rank 75th in tempo according to KenPom, which means they can push the pace when necessary. Maryland also boasts 5 players who are averaging double-digit scoring this season, though they have scored 77 points or fewer in 5 of their last 7 games. Wisconsin, too, has 5 double-digit scorers and ranks 152nd in tempo. However, they have been particularly efficient on offense, ranking 8th overall in adjusted offense. The Badgers have been scoring consistently, with 4 of their last 5 games seeing them score 80 points or more. Between the two teams, there have been 26 combined games that have hit the over, and in their last 5 matchups, the over is 4-1. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Alabama versus Mississippi State. It's an exciting Southeastern Conference matchup on the hardwood as the number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide make their way to the Magnolia State to face off against the number 14 Mississippi State Bulldogs this Saturday evening. Alabama enters the game following an 80-73 victory over LSU at home in their previous contest on Saturday night. However, they did not manage to cover the spread as 17.5-point favorites. Mississippi State, on the other hand, triumphed over South Carolina with a 65-60 overtime win on the road on Saturday afternoon, although they too failed to cover the spread as 7-point favorites. In the all-time series between the two programs, Alabama holds a dominant 135-78 advantage and has come out on top in the last 6 meetings. The most recent of these was a 99-67 victory for the Crimson Tide on February 3, 2024, at home. Both teams possess potent offensive firepower, with Alabama leading the nation in points per game, while Mississippi State ranks 40th in this category for the current season. When it comes to defense, Mississippi State holds the upper hand, as Alabama has struggled to contain opponents throughout the season. In an effort to address this defensive inconsistency, Alabama's head coach Nate Oates made the decision to bench Sierra in the second half of the LSU game, sending a clear message that subpar defensive play would not be tolerated. Mississippi State has been strong at home, sporting an 8-1 record at Humphrey Coliseum this season, while Alabama has proven its road prowess with a 5-1 record, including impressive wins over North Carolina, Texas Agricultural and Mechanical, and Kentucky. Mississippi State is still searching for its first win as an underdog this season, as they have a 0-2 record in such situations. Meanwhile, Alabama has posted a 4-2 record against ranked opponents this season. The Crimson Tide have dominated Mississippi State in recent history, winning 9 of the last 10 matchups by an average margin of 15 points. The Mississippi State Bulldogs certainly possess the leadership and defensive capabilities to secure a significant home victory, and there's no doubt that Humphrey Coliseum will play a major role in creating a hostile atmosphere. However, in this matchup, I place my trust in Alabama. The Crimson Tide have shown they can thrive in tough environments, with recent road victories over both Texas Agricultural and Mechanical and Kentucky. Alabama has 5 wins on the road this season and simply appears to be the more consistent and balanced team overall. In contrast, Mississippi State has faltered in key games this season, losing to Kentucky and Auburn and struggling to score against Tennessee. They also allowed South Carolina to stay competitive in their recent meeting. This game promises to be a closely contested back-and-forth affair, but despite Alabama's injury concerns, I believe the Crimson Tide will ultimately emerge victorious. Their ability to win in hostile environments like the Dean Dome and Rupp Arena gives them a slight edge in what should be a tightly contested matchup, so the Alabama Crimson Tide money line is our full game side pick. Given the explosive offensive capabilities of both teams, this game has the potential to turn into a track meet. However, a closer examination of the defensive statistics reveals that neither team is exactly weak defensively. Alabama ranks 43rd in defensive efficiency, 25th in effective field goal percentage defense, 55th in field goal percentage defense, 66th in 2-point defense, and 24th in 3-point defense this season. The Crimson Tide are known for pushing the pace, leading the nation with 74.2 possessions per game, although they rank just 343rd in forced turnover percentage at 14.1%. On the defensive side, Mississippi State is 35th in defensive efficiency, 110th in effective field goal percentage defense, and 55th in forced turnover percentage for the season. The Bulldogs play at a slower pace, ranking 176th in adjusted tempo with 67.2 possessions per game. Given these factors, this game is expected to fall just short of the projected total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Texas versus Ole Miss. The excitement in the Southeastern Conference continues to build as two strong teams prepare to face off on the hardwood in what promises to be an intense matchup between the 14-6 Longhorns and the 15-5 Rebels. Texas enters the game following a gritty and resilient come-from-behind victory over Texas Agricultural and Mechanical on Saturday, while Ole Miss has been struggling with 3 consecutive losses against tough opponents. Both teams are hungry for a win, but the circumstances and recent performances have set the stage stage for a highly competitive contest. One of the biggest uncertainties surrounding this game is the status of Arthur Kaluma, who plays a key role as the second leading scorer for Texas. His injury remains a question mark, but it's worth noting that he was listed as day-to-day when he missed the game against Agricultural and Mechanical, which could indicate a higher chance of him being available for this matchup. This game holds significant importance for both teams, but Texas enters with the momentum of a strong comeback victory, giving them a psychological edge. Ole Miss, on the other hand, shares several similarities with Texas Agricultural and Mechanical, particularly in their reliance on defensive capabilities to dictate the flow of the game. However, unlike the Aggies, Ole Miss is not particularly strong on the boards, which gives Texas more opportunities to capitalize on their possessions. Having figured out their strategy against Agricultural and Mechanical, Texas will likely use that same approach to take on Ole Miss in this critical matchup. Texas is one of the most experienced teams in college basketball, boasting over 4 players who have each scored more than 1,000 points in their NCAA careers. This wealth of experience makes the prospect of playing in a hostile environment, such as Ole Miss's home court, slightly less intimidating. That said, Ole Miss has posted an impressive 9-1 record at home, and their support from the crowd will surely play a role in the game. Nevertheless, Texas's experience and composure in high-pressure situations could tilt the balance in their favor, making them a more appealing pick in this matchup. Another key factor to watch in this game is the status of Rebels guard Davis. His role is critical for Ole Miss, and any uncertainty surrounding his availability could have a major impact on the team's offensive performance. Without Davis on the floor, the Rebels struggle to generate consistent offense, which has been a significant issue for them this season. Ole Miss currently ranks just 14th in the Southeastern Conference for field goal shooting and 11th in scoring, which further highlights their offensive struggles. On the other hand, Texas holds a considerable advantage in perimeter shooting, ranked first in the conference for three-point shooting, while also sitting in the 5th position for overall field goal shooting. With momentum on their side after their win over Agricultural and Mechanical, Texas is poised to carry that energy into this game against an Ole Miss team that is facing significant challenges. Turnovers are likely to play a pivotal role, especially if Davis is unable to alleviate some of the offensive pressure. Ole Miss has been ranked just 16th in the Southeastern Conference for turnover margin, which could give Texas additional chances to capitalize on mistakes. With both teams battling for crucial conference positioning, the game promises to be intense, and the Longhorns appear to have the edge. So the Texas Longhorns to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Defensive prowess has been a defining feature for both teams this season, and both will look to rely on their defense to guide them through this game. Texas currently ranks 5th in the Southeastern Conference for scoring defense, while Ole Miss is right behind them in 6th. However, offensively, both teams have struggled. Texas ranks just 10th in the conference for scoring, while Ole Miss is ranked 11th. Additionally, both teams have had issues with turnovers, with neither team ranking in the top 10 of the Southeastern Conference for turnover margin. Despite averaging 78 points per game overall, both teams have seen a decline in their offensive output during Southeastern Conference play. In their last 3 games, Texas has averaged only 63 points per game, while Ole Miss is averaging just under 70 points per game. The fact that both teams' strengths lie in their defense further supports the expectation of a lower scoring game. Texas ranks 46th on KenPom for defensive efficiency, while Ole Miss ranks 10th, underscoring their defensive capabilities. These rankings only strengthen the case for betting the under. Moreover, both teams play at a relatively slow pace, with Ole Miss averaging 67.6 possessions per 40 minutes and Texas slightly slower at 66.4 possessions per 40 minutes. Given these slower tempos and the emphasis on defense, it is reasonable to expect a game with fewer scoring opportunities and a lower total. This game is likely to come down to which team can make the critical shots in the final moments, but high-level scoring is not anticipated. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.